Good evening from Becky and me. Welcome to the programme.
First tonight, tributes to a proud soldier killed on the home front. The parents of Lance Corporal Joe Ricks have spoken of their grief after he died in a car crash just miles away from his Norfolk home.
They described their son as fun-loving, larger-than-life, and a soldier who was proud to wear his uniform.
Tragically, his death came just days before he was due to start a second tour of duty in Afghanistan with the Royal Anglians. Serena Sandhu has this report.
Treasured memories of their son Joe, a son that Peter and Diane Ricks are fiercely proud of. Joe, who was just 22, was a member of the 1st Battalion, the Royal Anglian Regiment, and was a soldier through and through.
He was a son that any man would be proud to call a son. And that's about all I can say. He was brilliant. I can't really...
And he loved being a soldier.
Yeah, he did really love the army life.
During his training, he was awarded the prize of being the best shot in his unit. It was a talent that would see him go on to be a sharpshooter on active service. He toured Iraq in 2005 and Afghanistan in 2007. He was due to start his second 6-month tour of duty in Afghanistan this week, his first trip as a Lance Corporal. But on Friday, he went for a farewell night out with his friends and never came home.
The doorbell rang, didn't it, around about 10 to 6. I said, I bet it's him, he forgot his key. When we got to the door, there was a policeman standing there, and he just said, you've got a son, Joe Ricks? And we said, yes. He said, I'm afraid he's been in a car accident. We asked how he was. He said, all I can say is you've got to get to the hospital, that's life-threatening.
He'd been fatally injured in a crash on the B1172 at Sutton. He was a front seat passenger in a car that left the road and overturned. His family is still coming to terms with the fact that this proud soldier lost his life not in active service, but just a few miles from home.
You can't prepare yourself for Afghan, not really, can you? Not even Afghan. You know, you can't prepare it. You know, you just hope and you pray that he's going to be safe. You know, but the way this happened, we weren't prepared at all.
No.
We weren't prepared. You know, you just didn't think it. You know.
380 soldiers from the Royal Anglians have just arrived back in Helmand Province. During the battalion's last tour in 2007, 9 of its soldiers were killed. Although Lance Corporal Ricks wasn't killed in battle, his family will still remember him as a dedicated soldier who never shied away from danger. Serena Sandhu, Anglia News, Wymondham in Norfolk.
Reflections there on the life of Lance Corporal Joe Ricks. Now, a group of parents in Northampton have started teaching their children themselves after they missed out on places at their local secondary school.
6 children were refused admission to the Caroline Chisholm School by the local authority, even though the school principal said he would have taken them. Here's Claire McGlasson.
School! This is not a game. At this school in Wootton, they're trying to teach the local council a lesson. A school where the classroom is a side room in the community centre, where the books are donated and the teachers are the parents. All 6 pupils were not given places at their local secondary, the Caroline Chisholm School. But instead of sending them to another school 4.5 miles away, their parents decided to go it alone.
And we're making a stand because this isn't just, you know, the most popular school here. We're doing it because it's our local school. It's in our community. It was built for the community, you know, by the community.
You have to do really what the parents, teachers say, because they're taking their time off to do that for you.
You can tell the difference between the parents and the teachers. They're trying their hardest, but I'd really prefer to go to a proper school and get a proper education.
On paper, it seemed as if all these pupils would be given a place at their school. All 6 have lived within the catchment since before they were born. All 6 have been to one of the 4 feeder primary schools, and 2 of them have older siblings already at the school. What's more, the school's principal says he'd be happy to take them.
I've made it clear that if the decision is that the children come here, we'll welcome them. It is for the local authority to manage these issues, and I accept they are difficult issues to manage and very hard to please everybody.
But the local education authority says its hands are tied.
We have to protect the quality of education for the children who are actually attending the school. If we don't have the power to exceed the published admission limit unless we are able to show that we could not accommodate the children in another school.
The council is now threatening the parents with prosecution, but they are considering their own legal action to teach their children the importance of taking a stand. Claire McGlasson, Anglia News, Wootton, near Northampton.
Hospitals around the country have started taking delivery of swine flu vaccinations. One of the first to receive them has been Colchester General, where frontline staff are being immunised.
Health officials say the vaccine is safe and are urging priority cases to get themselves vaccinated. But in one Norfolk village, anonymous leaflets have been distributed claiming the vaccine isn't safe. Malcolm Robertson reports.
A mass swine flu immunisation programme got underway today, and one of the first to take advantage was Isaac Fernyhoff. He works in the theatre at Colchester General and is also a hospital governor. With recent estimates putting the number of people contracting the virus in the UK at 37,000, he believes the vaccine will be a vital weapon in reducing disruption to NHS services. But some hospital staff have been sceptical.
If you're going to be expected to work in an area that's going to be treating vulnerable patients, I think it's only part of your duty of care that you aren't making them any worse than they were when they came in. And so, as part of their safety, I think all staff who deal with critically ill patients should be having this vaccination.
A number of people in the Norfolk village of Brundall have received this leaflet within the past 48 hours. Now, there's nothing to suggest who it comes from, but it does make a number of allegations, one being that the vaccine production was rushed, that it was never actually tested on humans, and it also says that the swine flu vaccine could actually increase the risk of death from swine flu. One of those to have received it is Francine Cornell. She says she was in two minds about having the vaccination and is even more confused now. It's also been quite a talking point for Janice Short and her family. They've been slightly unnerved by it.
Yeah, that would alarm people. Yes, that did. You know, that alarmed us, really. If it had some name on it, I might have paid more attention to it.
Andy Gray is practice manager at nearby Brundall Medical Centre, where they've fielded a lot of calls from worried residents.
Our reaction in the practice is that it's not actually very helpful. We don't know where they're originating from, and they've actually been put through people's doors over the past week or so.
Health officials describe whoever's behind the leaflet as totally irresponsible.
If people fail to go forward for the vaccine who are in vulnerable groups, that could end up with very serious consequences for those people should they contract flu and become very, very seriously ill.
Within the next few days, more hospitals will receive vaccines and they'll start being delivered to doctors' surgeries from next week. Malcolm Robertson, Anglia News.
Postal deliveries in our region will be at a standstill from 4 o'clock tomorrow morning after Royal Mail and union leaders failed to reach an agreement in their dispute over modernisation. During the last few months, postal services have been hit by local strikes by members of the Communication Workers Union. This time, the action will be nationwide with a 48-hour stoppage planned for tomorrow and Friday.
We'll have full coverage of the post-strike tomorrow. And if you have strong views on the rights or wrongs of it, we'd like to hear from you.
Yeah, you might be worried about the impact of the strike. Perhaps you're waiting for some important documents, tickets or an important hospital appointment.
If so, tell us your story. You can get in touch with us via our email address. There it is. That's Jonathan and Becky at itv.com.
Now, if you were watching last night...